You are now listening to the Minority Trailblazer podcast. Let the story begin.
One time for the lovers, two times for the ladies, three times for the brothers, four times for the babies. Do you love her? 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 One time for the lovers, two times for the ladies, three times for the brothers, four times for the babies. Do you love her? 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 Brown skin, love her brown skin, love her brown. Brown skin, love her brown skin, love her brown. She my brown skin, love her brown skin, love her brown. She my brown skin, love her brown skin. Hold me down.
Welcome to the Minority Trailblazer podcast, and I'm your host, Greg, the culture change agent. And guess what, y'all? September 24th, 2017, I turned 28 years old. I can't wait. I'm excited, man. The theme of next year is separation. Yes, separation. Why separation? Because this is the year where we separate from all the excuses. We separate. I ain't gonna go on the motivational route, man, but I'm so pumped. I'm so encouraged. I'm so inspired by y'all. Thank y'all for the feedback. Last episode, these last couple episodes, the energy, the feedback has been phenomenal, yo. Y'all got me so excited, so pumped. And I got a slew of updates. Side note, this is going to be one of the best podcasts I ever recorded. So you need to listen to all of it. It's an hour and 40 minutes. I ain't going to lie. But you need to listen to all of it. I got my dog, my brother, that just went on a groundbreaking tour for somebody under 30. And man, it's like the best of both worlds meeting together, man. And it's going to be the first of many collaborations, but I had to just drop something because a lot of stuff has been on my heart over the last couple weeks and months, and I just can't wait to share. But I got a couple housekeeping things. First, we had like 178 reviews. That don't make no sense. You've been listening to this podcast for this long. If you got an iPhone, you ain't reviewed, shame on you. So please, leave a review. Also, September 30th, I will be at Harvard University doing the Minority Trailblazer Live. So if you are in Boston or know any, if you're near, make sure you come to that event. It's a free event. Also, November 4th, we will be in Oakland, California. Coming soon, as well as Dallas, November 11th. Coming soon. If you're in Greensboro, we'll be at North Carolina A&T, November 18th, as well as Seattle. Yes, Seattle, Washington, December 2nd. We will be there as well. And for my New York people, actually on next Wednesday, September 27th, I am doing a meetup. You can meet me, ask me any questions. We can talk, we can build. And we're going to be at the Public Hotel in New York City, 215 Christie Street, New York. So the details of that will be at gregehill.com/NY meetup. And find out it's free. We're going to just build, talk. Might be 5 people there. Might be 15, 20, 30. I don't know how many people are going to show up, but we just going to meet. We're going to build. So if anybody in New York area, you want to meet the boy, talk about the podcast, talk about speaking, authoring, just break bread with me. Meet me out at the Public Hotel at 215 Christie Street, New York. More information at gregehill.com/NY meetup. So let me get in this intro. Matter of fact, let me get into this bio and let's get it.
And before I even read the intro, I just want to let the world know, I don't care where you're listening to. It's Africa, London, the UK. I don't care if you're in North Carolina. This podcast and what we're about to do in this episode and going forward, because it's going to be a reoccurring thing. We're going to pop in every now and then and give updates and check-ins, man. But this is going to be, I'm already calling it the best podcast ever recorded. So just strap on tight. This is not going to be similar to anything that you've heard from this podcast. It's going to be real blunt, real honest, real transparent, as always, but with just a different edge, because I'm seeing so much stuff in the business space, in the world space. And I said, man, I had to have somebody to come on the show that was just as dedicated to the game, not to success, not to money, but dedicated to their craft, and just share some nuggets, share some gems, and just be real. So I had to bring my boy on, man. And plus he got some crazy good news he want to share. And yo, I'm gonna read a snippet of the bio. We're gonna jump right into this. So as an innovator and brand builder, he lives by the words, you have to work twice as hard to get half of what others have. Co-founding the O Agency, a brand and performance marketing agency, was an intuitive leap that he never looked back from. With an extensive background in clients working with diverse roster of all-star professional athletes, Fortune 500 companies, and small businesses, his expertise in guiding today's forward-thinking brands and building successful customer relationships in the ever-changing landscape. Having successfully scaled and automated his agency to multiple six figures, he currently helps hundreds of up-and-coming entrepreneurs each month with free trainings, consultations, connections, and more online at the BYOBsociety.com. And I'm underselling it right now. Like, this dude went on like a 20-city tour this summer. Thousands of people got a chance to grow together. It wasn't like, hey, this is me. No, it was so crazy, man. Proud graduate of Hampton University and a member of the Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, and regularly speaks nationwide as a way to give back and inspire the world. I mean, so without further ado, groundbreaking, I want to introduce, and I'm going to mess up his last name, my brother, my dog, Andrew Nguyen, to the Minority Trailblazer podcast. Welcome to the show.
Yo, what up? Super excited to be here, yo. You got me amped, bro. I'm super excited. It's late. I just popped in the coffee, but I feel super good, bro. Your energy is crazy. I'm super excited to be here today.
I have no choice, man, because, man, it just, this summer, first and foremost, we're going to have some kind of protocol. So let's start the show off like I always start. Show us a quote and give us a vivid story about how you apply that quote to your everyday life.
Just one?
Yeah, just it could be a mantra.
So
it could be do what you want. Do what you want.
So I have a lot, but I'll give one. I mean, this is a generic one. I think people hear it all the time. The difference is I actually live it in real life. So, we've all heard the quote, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable, right? Mm-hmm. I'm sure you've heard of that one too, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So the biggest difference when people say that and when I say it is when, for example, like I take so much pride in being uncomfortable, it's ridiculous. People will look at me like I'm crazy. When I first graduated and I started working, like I knew being uncomfortable made me hungrier. I knew that it would take me to the next level. So I would do crazy stuff like throw my bed out because, I was comfortable. So I couldn't wake up early. So that was something that I just needed to let go. Or, I throw my TV out if, I saw myself getting too comfortable. And so there was a period of time in my life where like I would just I will single-handedly take anything that's in my life that I feel like it's holding me back or causing me to not reach the next, level or potential, and I'll throw it out. And I don't even care. I don't even care. You know what I'm saying? Like I could be making six figures and still sleeping on the floor because I know, what can push it. I take it to very, very to heart, when I say things, and especially when I hear quotes like this, you have to be, comfortable being uncomfortable, which everybody likes posting, but I will live it to the core in many other things that I do.
I love it. And let's go back to the last 2 weeks. What is one instance where you just applied that? Like, I know you talked briefly, but let's think real quick, last 2 weeks when you applied that quote.
Man, so, that's crazy, man. This might even sound crazy, but I mean, that first example was 4 years down the road. I still don't sleep in a bed today.
For real?
I still don't, bro. I would rather, this sounds so crazy. I would rather, sleep, on a couch, on a futon, on the floor, whatever, like to this day. In fact, it really, really pushes me to the next level. Just doing things, that are very abnormal. And as I begin to even get around, other people who are much, much, much higher levels than me, it drives and takes me to a whole other level. Like I think, I recently met up with Gary V last week. And so, man, just,
hold it. Don't even go in that lane just yet. We're going to say that thing because I don't even want to just jump into that thing. We're going to get into that.
Cool.
We're going to get in that. But before we get in, because it's crazy, before we jump into where I want to go, when I want to take this podcast today, we share, it's eerie, the similarities we share. And I want you to talk about your story and your backdrop, like before BYOB Society, before Brand with Drew and this guy that takes all these cool jumping pictures across the country, like before you meet Gary V and putting on conferences and all this good stuff, before audio, before all that. Matter of fact, I had a question, but no, just jump right in. right
All
there.
right, man. Yeah, man. It's been a developing story, right? I mean, I really, it's so long, but I'm gonna try to make it as short and try to hit the highlights, man. I think that for me, I've on the outside perception and what people see, for the past 6, 7, 8 years, I've been consistently just growing and taking things to the next level because I'm just in this mindset where I'm not there yet, and I don't know if I'll ever be there, but that's been the mindset. So it's always looked like I've won, quote unquote, but I think that projection or that happened because I hit a rock bottom in my life so early, right? And so for me, that was around 17, 18, where in my mind and the things that I was going through, it was really just, me, myself, and God against the world type of thing, right? I cannot count on, where people will let you down, friends will let you down, family will let you down, all this good stuff. And I have to really take responsibility for everything in my life. And for most people, I don't think they get to that point until maybe after graduation, you know what I'm saying? Because their hands are held. They're getting through not too much responsibilities, and so that whole quote unquote adulting or post grad or midlife crisis doesn't happen until afterwards. Until your mindset changes, your expectations of life changes, expectation of people changes, and all that good stuff. But it just hit me early, right? So it hit me early, and it forced me to either figure it out or die trying, basically. And so when I say that, I basically mean I was 17 and 18. I ended up enrolling into Hampton University.
Yep.
I was a pharmacy major at first. That's what my quote unquote, Asian parents wanted me to do. And, if you have international parents or African parents, all that good stuff, if you have immigrant parents, you could probably understand that, right? And it was a very big driving force, to do something like that, be a doctor, lawyer, all that good stuff. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I was like, let's just do it. Let's just see how it goes. I went into my freshman year and I failed every single class. I had like a 1 point something GPA.
Good God.
It was terrible, bro. Like, man, talk about like disappointment. And so I was like, man, I couldn't get through biology and chemistry. It was just so boring, for lack of better term. So I couldn't get through it. And for me, I was like, man, I need to change my major. I've been very business savvy, been very entrepreneurial, but didn't really know that was my calling. I found out that there was another program at Hampton called the 5-year MBA program. So shout out to everybody over there at Buckman. And I told myself, man, I'm just going to switch. I hope, my parents don't kill me. Right. And I made that switch. But I didn't tell them until like the year afterwards or like the summer afterwards. By the time I eventually told them, my parents went like berserker on me, right? They were like, why am I going to pay $20,000, $30,000, for you to, get a business degree or an MBA? Like, we could easily send you to, an in-state school, University of Maryland or whatever it is, and pay $2,000, $3,000, right? It just didn't make sense. And, it's just everything is like logical to them. You know what I'm saying? But for me though, like, I started like meeting a lot of great people. I started experiencing a lot of things. I started picking up on different, trades and crafts like cutting hair and DJing and stuff like that, which, I'll go into that. But, I just, the community that was being built there, I just fell in love with it. And I just knew that to me, it was kind of like a calling to stay there and be there, and to figure out whatever it took to continue my matriculation to Hampton. Basically, they went so crazy. They were like, look, man, like, if you don't want to do what we want you to do, then don't come home. Don't call us. Don't talk to us. We're not paying for your school no more. Blah, 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 blah. And I remember it kind of clearly where it was like, man, my dad, it felt like, I don't even know what he said exactly because it was kind of foreign. But I think he was like, we're disowning you type of stuff.
Oh, man. Oh,
damn. You know what I'm saying? And for me being 17, 18, and realizing like, man, I didn't really have that many friends. I couldn't really, there's so many things that, cause you're 600 miles away, you're really close to home. You don't really have money. You don't know where you're going to sleep at, shower, bathe, all that good stuff. They're like, we're not going to support you no more. You know what I'm saying? But, again, I wanted this so bad. And so that to me was a point in my life where I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? What do I have to do to get there? So I eventually, in my mind, I was like, man, let me go ahead and join the military. I ended up joining, the Marine Corps and stuff like that. And And, and like I've said all the time, like, I'm like a smaller dude. So I'm like, never in a day of my life did I think about the military. And it's like, when you join the military, and mind you, this is like mid 2008, 2009, like we were right in the middle of war, right? Everybody was getting shipped, to Iraq and Afghanistan, all that good stuff. So, you're thinking about like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have a dream, but it's like, is it worth me potentially even dying over? Right. And so you get to that point in your life, and it's like, once you start making decisions based off of like, man, am I willing to die for it? Crazy things start happening, I think, in your favor. And so I did that, you know what I'm saying? I came back, and, the next couple of years, so I ended up getting some money for school. The next couple of years, I was a barber, then I became a DJ. The DJ there before me was DJ Tay James, which was Justin Bieber's DJ. He was graduating, somebody had to take over. And there was another reason why I just really, really wanted to stay there, because that's a brand and business I could grow. I didn't know anything about DJing. I picked it all up when I got there, used the money, the $5 that I got from cutting hair, 10 times a day to buy some equipment, shipped it right to the dorm, you know what I'm saying? And then started growing that business, doing little house parties here, and there. And the next thing you know it, I'm doing like major, big campus events and concerts and clubs and, all this good stuff. And then, throughout all that time too, just constant, business experience that was so valuable for me in terms of like, man, you're working with promoters, club owners, you're being used, you're being lied to, you're not, like, you know what I'm saying? You're getting all these different things, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've sued other people. Like, it's just so much stuff that goes on. And, especially at the beginning too, like, before I even actually joined the Marine Corps, I was sleeping in my car, sneaking into dorm rooms, you know what I'm saying, to take showers, like bartering with the calf ladies to eat. So it was all of these things, where it was like, again, like hustle or die, you know what I'm saying? And so for me, just being out on my own, doing whatever it took to get done. I have that fire in me now, just like I had it, 8 years ago. And so, that's how we get to where we are. You know what I'm saying? I grew that brand, tremendously. And I love, my Hampton family for all the support and just everything that I've gone through with them. After that, I graduated, I took a corporate job. I also started the O agency, which is my marketing agency. Which is very strategic. I think you have to be extremely strategic, in business, especially even more as a minority, right? Especially even more, if you're first generation college, first generation, like everything, you know what I'm saying? Where there isn't that knowledge, that wealth, all that stuff passed down to you. You have to be so strategic with everything you do, because the rules are different. I guarantee you, the rules are very, very different. You can't play by the same rules that the rest of America plays by. But if you can figure out the game, and you can play it to your advantage, you have a ton of potential and growth. And, going to corporate America for a year was part of that strategy to continue stacking up, saving money. Within less than a year, I put my 2-week notice in, I quit. I've been doing this ever since. And from there, 6 months later, we signed our first pro athlete on the Redskins. And, once you do a good job for one guy, it's like, okay, here's my guy. We kept growing and growing and growing. We're in a good space. And then now, we're starting this new millennial community, of leaders, creatives, and entrepreneurs to continue giving back, as we're climbing and growing. So that's kind of how where we're at right now.
That's perfect. That's perfect. So let's jump right into it. Tell us about how BYOB got started, and then tell us about the whole experience, this whole tour you went on this summer.
Yeah. So, it was kind of crazy, man. Like it was really, it's an idea that's been brewing in my mind for I would say a year or two, right? 12, 24 months, maybe even more. But the reality, and here hopefully is a gem for a lot of people, is, you can have ideas, and ideas are a dime a dozen. I think there's two things you have to figure out. One is, are you the most qualified or credible person to execute on that idea, right? And then also, is the timing of the market correct, right? Because the idea I have is an idea similar to many other people, but I guarantee that I can do it better. I can do it faster. I can do it stronger, just because of, I took the right, again, that strategy, the steps, to execute on it. And execution is everything, right? There's this other quote that I hear all the time, and I say it's, you get 1 point for idea, you get 9 point for strategy, and then you get like the rest, like 90 points for execution. You know what I'm saying? Execution is everything. So, it's been an idea that's brewing. I've had to continue building on my credibility. I had to continue building my knowledge. I had to continue building my network. All these things come together to successfully pull off, this pretty much sold out, nationwide tour. Number one is just to fund it alone. You know what I'm saying? You have to have, the resources for that, then to actually get everybody out there to pull it off, to go back to back to back, and hit these cities and drive to the next one. I mean, you need a lot of, team players and just, again, just good strategy in place. And so, it really took off. For me, once the signs were earlier this year, it's funny because I don't even know if a lot of people know this, but how everything got kicked off was I wrote a random Facebook post one day, and I actually reposted it on my Instagram, at Brand with Drew, and people are still seeing it today and still commenting. But I said, this was back in March of this year, so like less than 6 months ago, right? Everything that has been done has really like just took off in the past 6 months. Where I wrote a Facebook post. I said, man, I think I can help anybody, quit their jobs, do what they love to do, pursue their passion, enjoy life, and blah, 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 blah. And I also added in there, this ain't no 3 month, get rich queen. This ain't, get rich scheme. This ain't no 6 month thing. Like, this is a 2-year thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I know the reality of the situation. I've been through it. I understand it. And I'm not selling BS like everybody else is out there. Right. And so, I wrote that post, and I don't know what the definition of viral could be, right? But it legit had like 500 shares and 800 comments, something like that. It was like, yo, I want to, how did you do it? Blasey, blasey. And from there, I ultimately ended up working with, I had like 200 people sign up for this. And for me, I was like, okay, cool. I have all these people who are like interested in learning, let me try something. And so I did this 3-month boot camp. And from that boot camp, I had like 200 plus people sign up, and I was teaching them every single Tuesday. And I was charging something stupid. It wasn't even like real. I just did it for the fun of it. And I'm not really hungry for money, right? So like, I just did it for the fun of it. I did charge a little bit because I wanted people invested into it, right? Because you know how it is. Like, if everything is free, like, you just don't care about it. You know what I'm saying? So like $10-$20 a month, something like that. Got people invested into it. And once I got in and for the next, every week for the next 3 months, I just kept pouring my heart out and just different ideas and strategies to help people. And I mean, it was like church. People were so excited. People were tuning in every single Tuesday, for this group of 200 people. What happened was I found out that they were scattered across the entire country, right? Like, man, I want to go visit y'all. You know what I'm saying? I want, on one end, I want an excuse to travel. On the other end, I want to meet people, right? Because I think that social media is so saturated nowadays. That
we about to get it. Oh, I'm about to go on. Right when you, go ahead.
The interactions are very like superficial and top. You're not really, you can argue that we're more connected, but you can also argue that we're less connected, right? So we're not actually like really like meeting people and getting to know people on a meaningful level, right? And so it's very top heavy. And so, man, I wanted to meet people. I wanted people to come out and meet people. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I know exactly what you guys need, and you guys need to truly meet people and network, but network in a totally different way, and not just go to, a happy hour and drink and randomly pass around business cards. And so we came up with this, once I realized that, this was like April, I went back to my team here in Atlanta. I was like, hey, y'all, let's do a tour. We have a month to plan the whole thing out, all the cities, all the logistics, all the panelists, locations, all this stuff. And honestly, I didn't even know if we were going to be able to pull it off, but we pulled it off. Like, it was crazy. I mean, we planned it, we did it, we were stressed, just with, that's how everything is.
And tell them how many cities. I want them to understand the scale of this. Tell them how many cities and roughly how many people attended.
We went from Atlanta to Charlotte to DC, then to Philly to New York, drove over to Chicago. We had a week off, and we were just going through like the mountains and stuff like that. Ended up driving down to Dallas, then headed over to Arizona, Las Vegas, then up to LA, and we ended in LA. Then we drove up to San Francisco and then flew back. So we legit drove the entire country. And hit all the major all the cities. Many of the cities were sold out, up to like 200 people, in the bigger ones. The smaller ones had about 100 folks. But mind you, this is a small workshop. This isn't even like this wasn't even like a summit or a conference. This was a little bitty, workshop in my mind. You know what I'm saying? So we got bigger stuff planning down the road. But this was to test the waters and see, how much the market, wanted something like this, and then it could appreciate, people who were willing to put in, the time, effort, and energy, and not, charge crazy amounts of money. And truly, when they say they want to give back, right, and not just say that, but still have, the tone of, okay, well, I want to make money first and then give back. No, I come from a space where I want to give back first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
So,
I love that. I want to get real practical take, because I'm gonna give some nuggets from behind the scenes on my tour and your tour, because like I said, this app is I want to get real practical, because I see a lot of, and this is message. This is a shout out here to, and before I release this, sometimes I be in my back of my head, I be like, yo, I be giving away too much stuff.
I feel you, bro.
I be like, yo, if cats really took the advice and took the stuff that we do, I'm like, what?
I just dropped the entire scheme of what I did. Like, anybody can start doing what I do, and it's like you will start getting some progress with your.
But it is what it is. So I'm gonna be real. Like, so if anybody knows, we're doing Harvard on September 30th. Then we got North Carolina A&T November 18th. We have Dallas November 4th. We have Oakland November 4th, Dallas November 11th, and then we just added Seattle for December 2nd. Mind you, this all came about last week. And here's a couple snippets behind how I operate, right? First, I look at my calendar, and I know I only do my stuff on Saturdays. Like Drew, his gonna be different, because he does his during the week, but mine is 3 hours. It's only on Saturdays, and I looked at my calendar. I said, Greg, what open Saturdays do you have? I had like 6 open Saturdays. I said, where do you want to go that you have not been? I know I wanted to go to Dallas. I know I wanted to go to freaking Oakland, and I wanted to go to Seattle. So I said, just put the date. So I put the date for Seattle, 12/2, Oakland, 11/4, Dallas, 11/11. And then what did I do? Before I had no venues, no nothing, I told my people in Dallas, hey, I'm coming to Dallas on the 4th, man. Let me know. And I just started putting out there. I told people this is where I'm going. And then now we have a free venue for Dallas. Now we have a free venue, or not a free venue, but they're not hitting me over the head in Oakland. And as well as in Seattle, working on a free venue. I just put it out there. And then 2, here's a cheat code too. And this is, I think me and Drew could talk for days about it. For all you influencers out there that call yourself influencers that don't engage with the people. Don't engage and not message it back, not take it to the next level. The reason why, in my instance, how I was able to, the conference that we put on, to fill seats for tickets, I was 1-to-1. I was in direct messages. I was sending the and not just, hey, how you doing, blanket. No, I was putting the names in it. And I did hundreds, thousands of messages.
Right. You know when I talked, just a second point, when I talked to Gary last week, he said straight up, this is how small businesses win, because a big business will never do this. Like a bigger person, like they won't do this because they don't think it's necessary. But the idea is you have to scale the unscalable, right? So to do things that are extremely manual, to take that extra time, that extra effort, that is what you need to do. And that is what separates you from everybody else. And you and me, we do that. You know what I'm saying? That's nothing new, but that's the game. You know what I'm saying? To scale something that is extremely unscalable, to personalize messages, to do this stuff. People won't do that.
And cause I remember, cause we Gary Vee, I'm a Gary Vee fan. I don't listen to all Gary Vee, because now and you, Drew, I'm in the zone of creating so much, I can't take in too much content.
Bro, I don't listen to him either.
But Gary Vee, I remember when I first started, Gary Vee said, when he first started Wine Library, he added anybody engaging on Twitter, he added them. Anytime somebody messaged him, he added them. So I'll be on any platform, I'm conversating, I'm doing all this stuff, and I see so many people, influencers or whatever, or it's even worse. I see influencers and people that just starting, but they're not even engaging with nobody. How you just start? Nobody coming to your blog, you're not engaging, you're not sending messages, and somebody adds you, you're like, this is how real it is. I am a guy on LinkedIn. I'm a power user on LinkedIn. Somebody adds me. I'm looking at the location. I'm saying, hey, Sarah, thanks for the ad. I know you in St. Louis. I'm going to be in St. Louis soon. Here's what I do. Everybody, thousands of people. And you got this little blog, this podcast, and you ain't talking to nobody. You just think sharing it on Facebook, a link is going to get you something.
Right. I don't think most people realize how hard it is to connect with people, right? It's not hard. I mean, when I say it's hard, I mean, you have to be proactive. You know what I'm saying? You have to take that initiative. It's not going to just come to you. Right. The idea is you build your brand big enough so that they do come to you. They do not just like you, but love you and, buy your tickets and your products and, rock with you. But, even at every single level, you can always, that's business development, man. That's taking the time out. And people don't understand how hard it is to sell out, a crowd or sell products or anything, or just be a business owner until you do it. And so, whether they listen to this or us and it gives them that light bulb with that idea, or they go through it and then fail and then realize, oh, okay, I need to change my ways. Well, that's another way of figuring it out too,
And here's some context too. I have several friends that have tens of thousands of followers on social media, 100,000. I had a friend of mine, I'm having on the podcast. I had at one point almost 1 million YouTube subscribers. It took him months to sell out a 300 person show in New York as a comedy group.
Crazy.
And I know people that have tens of thousands Instagram followers. It takes them, some of them, to sell like a 20 session course or whatnot for a low price point. It's hard. Like, it's hard out here. Don't get it, especially if you're not communicating. Don't think, oh, I'm gonna wait till I'm gonna get to 10,000 followers, then I'm gonna start doing this. Like, you can do this now with 300 followers. But the question is, are you gonna message every single one of those followers? And not just say, hey, how you doing? Like, me. And I think that's something you said critical. When you put out that first status that went viral, what'd you do? You immediately create a course with a low price point and added effing value every week.
I hit up every single person individually, bro. I went through and legitimately, it's so crazy. Man, you're making me drop some stuff that I don't even want to drop.
Yeah, I know. I hate, because
I hit up every single person individually in a message, and then I had them fill out a questionnaire, and then I called every single person individually. Like, I'm spending like hours. Like, I remember there were like weeks where like my entire, like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I am talking to people, you know what I'm saying? To make sure like, yo, is this a good idea for me? Is this a good idea for them? You know what I'm saying? And, like, I seriously went, like, there was no crazy automation and marketing, tactics and all this good stuff. No, I just single-handedly emailed and called every single person. Like you said, which is crazy.
And guess what? Now, when you drop stuff, even if the ones they can't support, they're going to support in some way.
Absolutely.
Because you made that first. I don't care if it's one call. But why do you think it's so hard? Like, I see so many people, they spend so much time on themselves, which I get it. You got to make sure you have quality product. I get it. But where is the gap? And most importantly, what do you think? All right, what is your 2 ways you think they can fix the gap? I'm going to get my 2 ways and you get your 2 ways. First, I think you hit on it in the beginning. You were willing to die for it. I watched what changed my life, Will Smith Words of Wisdom. And he said something like, I'm not afraid to die on a treadmill.
Yeah.
And everything that I do,
that was epic.
I don't care. Like, the results they're already going to happen because I'm the guy that can send out 1,000 messages on my own. Like, I create my, and I don't say this unhumbly, but because it came over time. Matter of fact, I'm going to take a step back. The biggest thing I would say, and I'm going to get to you and then I'll let you share your thing, Drew. I take everything seriously. Yeah. I think that the whole time, like it's crazy when you were talking, all the jobs you had, like I had jobs at Chick-fil-A. I had jobs at all these places. And when I say this, I'm not to say I was perfect at these jobs. Please don't misquote me, audience, but in my head, I process stuff. Okay, from every experience is a lesson learned. So now that I'm using the same stuff I use at Chick-fil-A, I look people in the eyes when they talk. I'm smiling. I'm engaging. I'm energetic. You can't go to Chick-fil-A and be like, how you do? No. Every single thing from when I was a janitor at a bar, from when, like you were, when I promoted parties, when I'm negotiating, when I got sued, me as well. I lost $20,000 in a night. I learned everything from that process. And you're sitting there, your corporate job, you want to leave entrepreneurship, but you're not getting everything you can from that corporate job. You're not getting everything you can from that part-time job. You say, oh, I'm not in my corporate job, I'm in a part-time job. You can learn something at a part-time job. Cause all right, let me be real practical, right? So imagine McDonald's. You work at McDonald's and then you see every week that a distributor comes and gives ketchup packets, and this is going to be off the wall, but some people going to catch it. And you're looking, okay, cool. And every week he comes to give you distributor packets, and you look at who's the distributor, and it's some random company. And then you do the research and realize this random company is making millions of dollars by just giving freaking ketchup packets. And then if you take a step further, there's a company that makes the shells, like the plastic around the ketchup. And some of y'all lost, but some of y'all get where I'm going. There's people that make millions of dollars off widgets about the little stuff. You want to be on stages. You want to sell products. You want to write books, but those little stuff, those gaps, you're not researching because you're not going to those events. Especially say if you're in Durham, North Carolina, there's Duke University, there's UNC, there's NCCU. Duke University example, they have tons of free events for every department that you can go into and talk to the best world-class people and get invites, but you're not going there. You online scrolling and looking at the people that's fake influencers. That's what you're doing. But let me get off that. I'm gonna let you test that, Drew.
Yo, you so passionate, yo. It's crazy. I just dropped we dropped a little intro video. And if you watch the whole video for the highlight for the BYOB thing, I put a quote in there. I said, this is dedicated to the ones that play the game of inches and seconds. You know what I'm saying? And what you kind of said was really the real deal. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to find the holes. You know what I'm saying? Where you can put yourself in. Or take advantage of. The reality is if everybody, there are so many ideas out there in this world, right? Especially with the onslaught of the internet and all this good stuff. Everybody sees stuff, has ideas, all this good stuff. But that, unless you want to compete with everybody, you got to find the holes. You know what I'm saying? You got to find the little stuff that not everybody is already looking at, or, if it's obvious, somebody else is probably already doing it. You know what I'm saying? And so finding the stuff by, like you said, going to the local schools, doing this, doing that, little things, even with the ketchup scenario, those are little things that most people, the mass market, don't realize. But if you play that game, the other analogy is the biggest difference between people who are like good and great. You know what I'm saying? You can use the pro athlete example. Like everybody in the NFL is good. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But the ones that you really remember are the ones that catch that football with with their fingers, you know what I'm saying? But it's inches. You know what I'm saying? Like the ball could be 2 inches left, 2 inches faster, so all that good stuff. But it's literally a game of inches. How fast you beat out the other guy. Because everybody is good. You know what I'm saying? And so once you're playing in the entrepreneurship space and you want to really, really dominate, it's all about the seconds. It's all about the inches. You know what I'm saying? And the bigger the catch you can make, or the bigger the move, it's the same thing. And that's what everybody, kind of remembers you as. I don't even know what the initial question is that I'm trying to answer. What was your question, bro, that I can answer?
Yeah, my bad, because I went on. I said, actually, here's a better question. And I did this in my small groups. What's working for you right now? I know we're giving away so many secrets, man. I'm pissed. I'm really getting pissed, because it's just.
Do you mean a certain a tool or
it could be a tool. It could be a tool. It could be a mantra. It could be a mindset. It doesn't really. I don't want to put any cap on it.
Sure. Honestly, I'll answer it in two parts. One is a generic kind of mindset one. This is one that I think everybody has to get. And most people just don't get it yet because it's that same scenario. People don't realize stuff until they go through it, right? You can have mentors, teachers, you have people telling people, but as most human beings are, and as a young adult, you think you know everything, and you're selfish in your ways, and you have a little ego, and you think you know what I'm saying, but you don't know what you don't know also, right? And so one of the biggest things that I've truly always been very good at is self-awareness, right? And so a lot of people talk about this, but truly understanding what you're really, really good at and what you're not, right? Because when I was fresh out of college, you know what I'm saying, just like a lot of people were, a lot of people wanted to be a lot of people in my circle wanted to be entrepreneurs and this and this and that, you know what I'm saying? So, we would team up and partner and do different things, but over time you can tell who's really a true entrepreneur and who's not, you know what I'm saying? And that comes through self-awareness, right? That comes through truly understanding what your skills are. You know what I'm saying? Are you good at leading? Are you good at managing? Are you good at building a team? Are you good at, selling a vision? You know what I'm saying? All this good stuff. And, you might not be a lot of people don't realize it because everybody wants the ultimate, freedom, right? I mean, at the end, people are playing a game of freedom, not even of money. They want to be able to, wake up when they want to, go where when they want to, all that good stuff. And so, most people believe that entrepreneurship is the path to ultimate freedom, right? And so, that's what most people want, right? But there's two things about that. One is, if everybody was an entrepreneur, number one is that's impossible because there will be no right. So, like, there's always room for people who are willing to go further and work harder and outsmart each other, and et cetera, et cetera. But having that self-awareness to realize that, you know what, I value, free time a little bit more. I value, relaxed time. I value family time, all this good stuff, and that's all great and dandy. That's great. But understand that if you're playing against me, and if we're going one-on-one, and I will put 24/7 into my, I will kill you, like, straight up. I will beat you in every single way possible. You know what I'm saying? Because I want this more than you. It's not even like a trick scenario or whatever. Like, I legitimately put in more time, to know my craft better and to become more talented at this space. You know what I'm saying? And that's how a little crazy true entrepreneurs are. You know what I'm saying? Are willing, and that's why I don't want this role. I earned this role. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is not a role that, like, when I first started, I never even called myself, founder, CEO, all that good stuff. Because I just think it's vanity stuff, like vanity metrics, like followers, vanity titles, all this good stuff doesn't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just matters, what you do. And so, you might not be, the founder, but you can be, the first employee, or you can be the second employee, you can be the CMO and still have, 10%, 20%, but you can do a lot less work and stress a lot less. You know what I'm saying? So, like, there are many, many ways to go about, growing as a group, growing as a community, growing with your partners and teams, finding out what you really value and what you want. And I can look at anybody and be like, okay, how do they live 24 hours, of their life, and, what role they're going to play, for themselves in society, for their family, and all that good stuff. And it just comes down to self-awareness. You know what I'm saying? The sooner people are aware of what they truly value in life, the happier they will be. You know what I'm saying? Because it's constantly setting bad and false expectations. If you want this, you want that, you want this, you want that, but you don't end up getting it. And it's because, again, you have expectations that are not realistic. You know what I'm saying? That you have not truly understood yet. That's just a big, that's what's worked for me. I've had awesome self-awareness where I understand what my role is. I never force myself to be bigger than what I really am. You know what I'm saying? I'm not out here, faking it till I make it. I hate that type of stuff. Like, thing I say is, I want my word to be bond. I want what I say to be true. And that's how people, are gravitating towards, me or the brand, whatever. It's because they've been watching me, for years and years and years, and they trust, right? Just like, you watch any other brand, like, it's all about trust at the end of the day. If you can get people to truly trust you, that's the key, right? That's truly the key to converting people, to having people follow you, to having people, become your evangelist and all that good stuff. So that self-awareness piece is the number one mental piece that everybody needs to understand. The second piece, man, that's working for me right now, because I'm in the digital marketing space, man, I'll just give some practical stuff, man. Of course, Instagram is working really, really well for me, man. I really understand, the algorithms and all that good stuff. When it comes to website and digital optimizations and, conversion rates and all that good stuff, because I've been in this space and I'm doing it for a lot of businesses. I mean, I just know what looks good and what doesn't. I know what the industry is doing, and I know how to do it better than them. And so, that just takes, again, that's just years and years of being, in the lab learning, you know what I'm saying? And so there is no one, overnight success. You know what I'm saying? There's there are anomalies, but it's very, very rare. You know what I'm saying? Just like somebody might win the lottery, right? But it's very, very rare. And for most people, who are successful, they'll go through years and years and years of just working until all of a sudden, it sounds like, or it looks like they blew up overnight. So, yeah, man. I mean,
that's huge. I think I'm gonna leave it at this. The biggest thing that's working for me now, and y'all could take this or leave this, is I stopped asking. And I'm not editing this out too. I'm just gonna have it like that. I stopped asking and started giving. It changed my life when I see so many people out here that are asking for shares, asking for likes, asking for money, asking for support, asking for all this stuff, but they're not giving anything. They're not making it intentional to give. And let me be real practical. The other day, there was a young lady of mine, a friend of mine, that is supporting me and supporting me from afar. She attended my Minority Trailblazer event, and we haven't done lunch in a while. So actually we never done lunch. She has a nonprofit and I just said I wanted to build with her. She has great energy. It wasn't on no date type stuff, just build. So we went out, a lunch, had a real conversation, no fluff, just real conversation, talked, and she works for a nonprofit. I paid for the bill. We left, and during that conversation, she was like, yeah, by the way, we have a pitch competition on October 30th. And I said, oh, pitch. And I went, talked about everything else. She said, yo, we're looking for a keynote. I said, all right, cool. So shoot me the info. I mean, I see what it is. And and I didn't charge my normal rate. That was an easy 20 minutes, $500 for 20 minutes ain't bad. And that would have never came if A, I wouldn't have scheduled a lunch. And two, I would just gave. I didn't have an agenda. I didn't ask her what opportunities are out there. I didn't ask her for a contact. I didn't ask her for a speaker deck. I didn't ask her for connections. I didn't ask her for anything. All I did is just thank you, reciprocal. And I could take to so many situations now that, I mean, I just had a a superintendent of a school system come out and say, yo, I love your story. If you want to come to any of my schools, call me. Like, gave me cell phone number. Call me. This guy don't look like he a white guy. Call me. But where does that come from? Because a couple years ago, I had to change my position. And I said, how can I give more? And what does giving look like for me? Let me be practical. Giving like this is providing content on a high level and sharing stuff, but sharing stuff in a way that you don't have to pay to get. It's more so boom. And then let people be the judge. Like let people be the judge. And I see so many people right now, we could just focus on giving and not just giving. I'm not saying I'm doing everything for free. Don't get me twisted. Don't miss the message. Give content, give something of value. And then when you see an opportunity, execute. When I saw he added me on LinkedIn, what I do, I immediately messaged him. When I saw somebody that added me on certain things, and if they don't reach back, and this is something I want to talk about too, and I'm gonna speak briefly on it, and I want you to hear your impact on it. If I reach out to somebody and they don't hit me back, I don't take offense no more. I used to a couple years ago. I took my ego out of it. So I want you to share. I want you to talk about ego, man, because I think.
Oh my gosh, please. Bro. No, you don't, bro.
Yeah, please. Hey, we here now. We venting now. Some people, hopefully people are still tuning in. People are like, oh, the G back on this man. He got a whole podcast to stand on that sandbox. But yeah, go ahead.
All right. First of all, I want to just say something, to your message that you just said. And I just want to add to it. I was actually going to make a post tonight where it says something along the lines of, because ultimately, if you're in business, you want to sell something. The best way to sell is not to sell at all. Right. So like you said, and part of that is like giving. Part of that is doing stuff that is counterintuitive to what you think business is about. Right. Where you have to like cold call or go out there and like try to force. No, it's like literally just like giving your time, giving your energy, giving content, like just building relationships with people. Because the reality is people work with who they like. They work with people who they respect. And so how do you gain that? You gain that by just building relationships, right? And not even selling people, but, taking people out and paying for their, lunch or dinner, whatever it is. And that opens the door to so many other things. And so, I think that's another big critical key is, the best way to sell is not even sell at all. Like I'm trying to tell people who are constantly hitting me up, online now, like, look, if you start a conversation with me that has anything to do with not business, I will gladly talk to you because there's always business questions in my thing. And that's cool. But it's like, I already know you want something from me. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Instead of just, giving your time, having a good conversation, doing whatever, you know what I'm saying? And so, the best way to sell is not sell at all. And then also is to be extremely authentic. You know what I'm saying? And so, because we are so saturated with information and sales and all this stuff, marketing, like we're very like millennials, people are smart. Like we know what looks like, a business sale or the goal is to make money. And we're very privy and anti it. Right. And so it's so important to be authentic. Like people who are authentic right now, who are winning are like Issa Rae and Gary Vee and all these people. And they're so authentic that's what's selling. You know what I'm saying? That sells. And that law of attraction kicks into play. And you know what I'm saying? Like you don't even have to try. People will rock with you. You know what I'm saying? Type of thing. You don't even have to sell and people will buy from you because they just like you. They like your product. They like what you stand for. And so, oh man, all of that is like super, super critical just to bounce back on what you said. But to talk about ego, man, ego is single-handedly the I don't want to say the biggest issue, but for most I would say for most millennials now, like it will be the biggest thing that will stop you from getting to where you want to be, right? Egos in partnerships, egos in client relationships, all that good stuff, because you always think that you deserve something. Again, it's that expectation part, right? It's part of that. It's when somebody fails your expectation, doesn't meet your expectation, or, you know what I'm saying, just, go against what you're doing. to be able to look at it and not, be immediately affected by it. You know what I'm saying? Or to not let your ego and your emotions, do the talking and moving. It's so, and that's why it's almost borderline why I think most women have a better chance of becoming entrepreneurs nowadays, right? As the tides have shifted and changes, because they have that more so of an underdog mentality. So it's a little bit more, not as egotistical as most men, you know what I'm saying, who are coming in thinking that they could, dress in a suit and tie, look good, talk a good game, and you know what I'm saying, just run with it. You know what I'm saying? But because again, it's not about looking the part, it's actually about being the part, right? And we talked about being authentic. And so because the market has shifted away from just like, we know if you're out here, shooting videos with, you know what I'm saying, luxury cars and homes, and stuff like, we know that's fake. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't impress us no more like it might have done 10, 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And so it's all about that authenticity. And again, man, I've been in so many scenarios, where ego has single-handedly killed someone's opportunity to grow, to level up, all these things. And it's single-handedly the biggest thing that I've realized, that most young people, until life humbles them, until all that good stuff. But again, it's hard if you haven't been through it. You know what I'm saying? And because life has humbled life has humbled me, at such an early stage, that it's humble confidence. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the key. And oh my gosh, one of the biggest things that I've noticed even about Gary Vee, and I just had the conversation with my friend, and even I'm trying to start changing myself, where it's like, no matter how big you get, man, to still be kind, still be genuine, still be humble. Like, I'm starting to get around, because there's like levels, right? There's a
big levels,
right? There's levels, right? There, like, you can grow, and once you get a little bit popping, once you get a little bit of followers, like, you're automatically gonna get a little ego. I get it. You know what I'm saying? That's natural, and that's human tendencies. But you have to take a step back, man. And one of the biggest things that I appreciated when I got a chance to meet Gary Vee was, like, he will talk to you like he's on your level, like he will hug you, you know what I'm saying, look in your eye, like all this. And this guy is worth over $100 million. You know what I'm saying? At this point, has 800 plus employees, and you would think he would be on a celebrity. And we give people passes who we think, oh, they're not going to remember us and all this good stuff. But imagine him still giving, you know what I'm saying, to other people in terms of his attention, his time, his effort, and stuff like that. It means the world, and it's going to 10x his growth. You know what I'm saying? It's going to 10x our growth. You know what I'm saying? To do exactly the opposite of what people expect.
Man, that's so much right there, dog. There's so much right there, man. And as I even think, the craziest thing is when the ego, and I'm gonna be very practical. I've said it on multiple podcasts, but I know that once we post this and you post, there's gonna be a slew of new listeners. But I'm a professional speaker, and I get paid pretty good to speak. However, a year ago, I was my max I ever got paid was $500. Usually I was getting $250, right? And my boy Daryl Bellamy, he was a professional speaker in the game, a year younger than me, and at the time, I was like, yo, pound for pound, there's no way I'm not one of the best under 30. Like, not on the ego. I was like, it doesn't make sense. And he shared what he got his first check, one of his big checks, and I said, it was like 10, no, it was like 60 times more than I got. I said, no way. But what I do, this is what I did. This is, I don't want y'all to miss the message. When he told me, and we began to build a relationship, because first he reached out to me, he saw what I was doing, I liked it. Right. And I said, yo, how do I get there, bro? What I need to change? Right. He didn't say, oh, I got these gigs coming up. Also, oh, I got these gigs too. No, my gigs were pro bono at 200. I said, yo, D, I'm only making this. Like, what I need to change? Right. He said, yo, G, simple, bro. Update your press kit a little bit and just up your price. That was the first thing. There's a couple other steps, but that was the biggest thing. And then I promise you not. I did not do it for the first 6 months. I still was doing this regular stuff. Yeah, and then when I finally changed my rate, $3,500 for 4-hour workshop. And for me, and then if you've been in the game, that's not too much money. But for me, how do you jump like times 7 for a day of stuff you already know to middle schoolers? How does that work? I listened. I asked my advice. He's younger than me. I could have said, yo, D, I could in my head be like, yo, nah, F that. I'm not going to show I need help. I'm gonna act like I'm on his level. No, And I want to ask this personal question to you, Drew. I never got a chance to, because this is why this is one of the realest podcasts out. And my mind, pound for pound, one of the best out there, because we bring the real stuff. It meant a lot to me. I met Drew one time in person. It meant a lot to me. I had my event at Durham, North Carolina. Remember, You're a Genius. I asked him to come out. Drew, he didn't say, okay, how much, whatever. He flew to Durham just to speak at an event for free and was there from 3 to 7, and then came the next day when I had a church outing and broke bread with the fam. When you do stuff like that, no matter how far I go in business, I will always remember that. If there's any opportunity I don't care if we're doing something on the same day. I don't care. You do stuff like that, it's lifelong. And so many of y'all want favors. Y'all want all this stuff from myself, from Drew, all these people, but you have not done anything to nobody.
Right.
So why did you even do that? Like, let's be real. Why did you say, man, I'm going to, out of my own pocket, I'm gonna go and just build with it, brother? Because you still knew me from afar, but like, what made you do that?
That was the first time we really like met for real.
Yeah.
It goes back to what you said, man. It goes back to talking about giving and all that good stuff. But I put it like this too, man. At the end of the day, whether you're 10 years ahead of me, 10 years behind me, whatever it is, make 10 times more, 10 times less. At the end of the day, a winner is a winner, right? And so like when you're around winners, you get inspired. When you're around winners, like it doesn't really matter, even if you're competing or not. Even if you're competing, the reality is, you go left, I go right. You go right, I go left. Like, we'll find a way to win. You know what I'm saying? That's the nature of a winner. You know what I'm saying? Like, people win regardless. And when I like, looked at your stuff and listened to you, immediately I put you in a winner's bucket. You know what I'm saying? And so I've never really asked you for anything. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to be a part of your winning game plan, whether it's beneficial for me, a month down the road, a year down the road, 10 years down the road. It doesn't matter to me. You get what I'm saying? And that's my thought process. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me build with winners, period. You know what I'm saying? Let me build with people who are like-minded, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've already been on this group, but maybe for a lot of people who are listening, it's like, you look at the people who are in your circle, it's like, are they winners, right? How are they spending their time? How are they looking at life? Are they always complaining, or are they always looking for solutions? You know what I'm saying? Are they always getting mad at this and this and that? Because you can always get mad at stuff at every single level, whether you're broke, you know what I'm saying, or you got millions of dollars. Like, there's always something to complain about. But it's like, if you're in this, if you're not expecting, much out of life but what you put into it, you know what I'm saying? Then I promise, like, your life will just be happier. You know what I'm saying? You appreciate what's in front of you. You appreciate the people that reach out to you. You appreciate the people that you reach to, big or small. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I did it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we do a lot of things that are similar. It kind of your story. It reminds me of the fact that, you know what I'm saying, we all. It's funny because our thought process. I just had this conversation yesterday too. Our minds are our biggest asset, but it's almost our biggest it's also our biggest kryptonite.
Yeah.
Right. Where like it gives us, God gave us all these brain cells to think of, how to fly to the moon and how to create, driverless cars and to do this and do that, do this. But it can also hurt you by just like handicapping, your day to day, being jealous, comparing yourself. You know what I'm saying? There's a saying, comparison is a thief of joy. You know what I'm saying? And if you constantly let your mind, and just understanding your mindset alone, that's who I want to be around. People, again, that's why it's so important to be around like-minded people. But if you're around people who just talk about just dumb stuff all day, you're going to be infected by, dumb syndrome-ness. Like, it's just the way it is. And so, man, I say all that to say, man, like, being humble allows you to, and letting your ego go allows you to, just, portray, this almost aura that, will attract, more people that you're truly looking to attract. And as you get older, you know what I'm saying? As you get older, you become more self-aware, right? When we were in college, our attraction meter was anybody who wants to turn up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's the I give to you a good time, you give to me a bottle. We're just gonna have fun. You know what I'm saying? But as you get older, your priorities change, your responsibilities change, and so that's why you might not be friends with a lot of people in college no more, because the value that you give to each other has changed. Now that everybody's getting older, they're having families. They're probably that's probably their biggest priority. You know what I'm saying? You have to, if you want to work with people, if you want to be around people, you have to understand what type of value that you're exchanging. And again, it's not even like physical stuff. This is like mental headspace. This is time. This is energy. This is vibes, right? And so.
Nah, you hit it on your head. And as we transition, because I don't want to give away too next, like I said, this is going to be anytime that I need to push the button and really talk to the people, then this is going to be a reoccurrence. So we don't got to give all the jewels, man. But I do, before we get into our lightning round, I wanted to ask a couple more things. One, what's your thoughts on, and I think this is really big, and I think as I ask this question, I want you to talk a little bit about, if you can, your experience. I think it was last week when you got a chance to go to that summit. So just get your key takeaways from that. But I want to get your thoughts on playing for the long play, like thinking long, like not just thinking, okay, this, so play for the long play. And then if you could wrap it around your experience you had a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, nah, man. Everything that I do now, is for the long play. And that's why, it doesn't make sense, a lot of stuff that I do, because, I'm not profiting. I'm not making crazy money, but I know that, it pays off in the long term, just like building relationships with you, just like giving back to the community. I started this BYOBsociety.com website that you guys should check it out. There's so much stuff on there that's like dope and curated specifically for millennials and even minorities at that space, that like, and it's all free. You know what I'm saying? I'm in here, coaching for free, doing calls for free. Like, I'm just giving back so much, and it absolutely makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? I have a long-term game plan. I have a long-term plan. I mean, my game plan is like focusing on like 2040, you know what I'm saying? Which is like 20 years down the road. Like, and that's everything I do now is for the long term. I'll say that, God, I'll put it like this, man. My life and what I do is so fulfilling that if I died tomorrow, I wouldn't be sad or upset. You know what I'm saying? The reason why most people are scared of death or that might like scare them, especially at a young age, is because they feel like they have so much more living to do. They have so much more this, so much more that, so much more, I need to, feel this, feel that, have a certain type of fulfillment here or do this and do that. You know what I'm saying? But like, I live my life every single day to the max, so fulfilled that it's almost like I'm like 90 years old, and I'm like, man, I completed everything, and I used all the talents that God gave me on earth. You know what I'm saying? I use it every single day, right? So if I pass away tomorrow, if I get hit by this or that, whatever it is, like, I'm totally cool with that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not wasting my time. I'm not wasting my life. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to go through the nuances, you know what I'm saying, through my 20s, and I'm still in my 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. You know what I'm saying? Like, most people just go through the nuances of life. You know what I'm saying? Taking what comes at them. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being in control and being proactive. You know what I'm saying? And using your talents, whether God gave you 2, 4, 6, 8, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? And multiplying it every single day. I multiply it to the max, where I know that, if I couldn't even do any more. You know what I'm saying? So like, I am extremely fulfilled every single day, to the point that, if I was gone, I'd be like, cool. You know what I'm saying? I've utilized everything, that I have the potential to do. And I truly put my all of my effort, into it.
Man,
what's your question again, bro?
No, that was it. Outside of that, I want to take us behind the scenes, man. The experience. I didn't get a chance to even ask you about it, man. How was it? Paint the picture on how you even got a chance to meet Gary Vee. Like, what was like the whole experience, and like not Gary Vee, just the summit. So I've been in contact with Gary Vee's team a couple times over the summer, and oh my gosh, so crazy. I promise you, like, it's crazy. The point where I'm at right now is like, things that I'm thinking about is like really becoming a reality. And I knew that, but sometimes it takes like years. But stuff that I'm thinking about now, like, it's starting to happen in like months and weeks, which is crazy. Like, I've been in contact with this team because we're planning some big stuff, man. I'm really, really excited, man. Like,
like whatever I do now, I want to win. I want, you know, I want to put people on. I want to put our team on. I want to put people who are like-minded on. And I've been in contact with his team, got some things brewing up. Then I recently got invited out to Idaho recently, which is where he was at, speaking to it was a small thing. I mean, there were other like major like influencers and marketing people. I mean, it wasn't like a big conference or something. It was like 100 people, maybe a little bit more there. And so it was pretty personal, and we got to meet a ton of people. And I got to connect with him even further. And you know, we're planning a lot of things out. But man, the biggest takeaway I got from it was, number one, my eyes have been extremely opened in terms of it's good to be around like other people who could take your game to the next level, right? And it's man, again, it's so hard because it's like I'm in this space where it's like, man, I feel like I know everything in a sense, but it's like then I get into a certain circle and it's like I don't know anything. You know? and for most people, it's like, man, for most people, you know, you gotta put yourself. Yeah, you just have to put yourself in that position, and it's hard and it's risky and it costs money, but that's what you have to do. Like whoever's listening, like maybe you have to put yourself, you know, in Greg's circle. Maybe you have to put yourself in my circle. Maybe you have to just do things that, you know what I'm saying, can get you in so that your mind can be open. You know what I'm saying? For me and you, it's like, okay, where can we put, you know, ourselves and where can we put our presence in different places? And it gets hard because it's very uncomfortable where, you know, we don't know these people. You know, it's not like a natural connection, all that good stuff. But I put myself in that situation. I don't do it much, you know what I'm saying? Because we get the nuances of the daily grind, just like most people, they get the nuances of the daily grind. But until you put yourself in those situations, a huge light bulb goes off. You see things that you haven't seen before. You know, you come back extremely energized, and the idea that you had just became 10 times better. You know, now your strategy just became 10 times better. You know what I'm saying? Because you're around, you know, certain people that helped you, you know, open up that door. And, you know, a big quote that I love is, you don't know what you don't know. Mm-hmm. Right. And again, I say this so many times, but, you know, if you're first generational, you know, this and that, there's a lot of things that you just don't know. And until you put yourself in that position, that's where hustling is so important at the beginning of any progression. Until you put yourself in that position, you will never know, right? You will never become aware. And once you become aware, that's when you can start taking action. You know what I'm saying? So it's your job to become aware instead of, you know, waiting for somebody to teach you. Like, come on, man, we grown now. You know what I'm saying? Teach it. Like, nobody cares about you. The reality is nobody cares about you. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe your wife or your husband and your kids, but like, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to put yourself in that position to get that information, to get that knowledge. But when I was at the event, man, to take it back, man, it was absolutely amazing. I learned things about Gary that I didn't even know. And, you know, you would think that he's this like big like guru, you know what I'm saying, like guru talking motivational guy. But man, when he was there, man, he was just so real, which kind of threw me off, just how real he was. He knew the audience that he was in front of. He didn't have to impress his people. You know, we were talking about stuff like, did you know Facebook Watch launched 2 weeks ago? Did you know that you could pitch to them and have your own show? Did you know, like, just like high level stuff? And I was like, wow, this is exactly what I need. You know what I'm saying? And then the other part where I appreciated him so much was because I can get in situations where like I see people like every single day. I'm talking to people and I forget, you know, who's who, what's what, and I kind of blame it on, man, there's just too many people to remember. But I saw how he operates. I'm like, man, this guy, like, he would talk to people, say their names, you know, 20 people's in, and then still come back and talk to the same person, remembers their names and all this good stuff. And I'm like, wow, if he's doing that, you know what I'm saying? He has 2 million plus followers, $100 million in his bank account. Then there's no excuse that I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? There's no excuse that I need to act, you know what I'm saying, like I'm too busy, or, you know what I'm saying, I'm somebody special. You know what I'm saying? So being in those situations humbles you and allows you to push even further. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, you look up, you're at his level. Yeah,
I love it. And I guess before we get into the rapid fire round, I think we've been transparent already this whole podcast. I mean, just all raw stuff. I want to bring it one more time for the people. And I'll start first and I go, what's the biggest thing you learned about yourself? I don't want to call it a failure. What's the biggest lesson learned over the last year, that you have? And I guess, cause we're in different places, but I know, and I'm gonna take two, cause I have two. So I'm gonna start my two and then give you a two. Yeah, so my biggest lesson learned, and we talked about this offline, but I also talked about this today on other podcasts that I recorded was, just my understanding of my respect for women. I think, unfortunately, to be honest, in this space where, I mean, I love people. I work hard. I do what I do, and we're gaining crazy momentum. I don't think I've ever necessarily respected women to the degree that they should have. I think there was a lot of relationships, a lot of people that, I shortcutted. I took fast steps because I operate, I am who I am. So I operate a business like I do relationships. Like, yo, let's be efficient. Let's make this. Let's do this. And I don't think that always works. Like, I mean, I think it's difficult. It can't work if you find the right person, but there's certain people that I know that is closed off to. And I think, I've grown this year. I've grown over the last couple of days. Just by trying to hold myself accountable by holding women to the lights. Cause I know at the end of the day, I won't be complete. I don't believe personally, every entrepreneur don't say this, but I'm not going to be complete until I have that constant energy beside my side. I won't. There's certain things, especially even though my long play isn't to be a speaker, but I still, when I jump into the speaking game, I still want to be the best pound for pound. So I know I can't talk, certain things I can't talk about. I don't have kids. I have kids. Not to say that, so I was like, there's levels in business that I can't, and that's why honestly, that's why we can work so hard. I can do 24/7 because I don't got nobody else to do. You feel me? Even like my girlfriend, if I got a girlfriend still, I'm going to put in. So that's one thing. And I guess the second thing is, I think the second biggest lesson learned this year was how slow, and I know you've probably heard it 1,000 times, but how slow I have to bring on people onto the team.
Yeah.
I've been let down, and not to say I haven't let down anybody, but I've been let down so many times, even the last couple of days, about people that I know are good people that want to help out.
Yeah.
But either A, they're not ready to work with me, or B,
Right.
I'm not ready to lead them.
Right.
It's straight like that. A lot of people, they're not ready. Like, they're not ready to work with me, period. Like,
Right.
but then a lot of people, and then the other sin, I'm not ready to lead them. So I think that's my biggest gap. As I grow forward, I can't do it alone. Even this contract, I contract people, but I gotta work. I gotta get better on that. So, that's my two things.
Cool. I think my two things is, and we're talking about, what we learned about ourselves, right?
Yeah. Over the last year or so.
Yeah. So I'm definitely learning how to delegate better. Kind of similar to what you said, man. You need a solid team, man. You need your starting five. You know what I'm saying? It's so important. It's much better to have a small piece of a big pie than a big piece of a small pie, right? And so it is very important to have partners and teams, because the compound effect, the snowball effect of growth is not just twice as fast, it's 10 times, it's 20 times, 30 times faster. And then the other thing that I think I've learned about too, which is really, I mean, this is a funny one, man. This is a one where I don't think most people would understand unless they've like gone through the process of hiring and building a team. But I'll go ahead and share it, and maybe it can help somebody, is the fact that as a young person, right? So here's the deal. You gotta play the game at where you are. If I'm 40, 50 years old with millions of dollars, I'll just hire people straight up, put them in this process, have somebody manage them, blah, 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 blah. Right? We get that. You know what I'm saying? But as a young person, it's like, you don't have millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? You're not, because again, like, in the first scenario, it's like, you're motivated by money. You respect, the process that's put in place. You know what I'm saying? You just got to follow the rules. In this place, you don't have a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Like, you still need to build a team. You don't know how to convince people. And so you're doing a lot of different things, in terms of bartering and this and this and that. And one of the things that I think I've realized is, we all know and we all hear about the fact that, when it hurts to get something, or when you put in blood, sweat and tears to earn something, you appreciate it more, right? And so I think that that's one of those situations where nobody wants to go through blood, sweat, and tears to get their goal, right? Or their whatever their dream is, right? Nobody wants that. That hurts. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not a happy, good process. But that process definitely makes you appreciate things a lot more, instead of just winning the lottery the next day, right? Although we all want millions of dollars. So one of the things that I think I've learned at this level is to work with people slowly, right? Kind of like what you said, to not just like give people like everything and too much. And although on one end you want to, because you're like, hey, I need you and I'm willing to do whatever it is to make you happy and blah, 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 blah. But if you give it to people so fast, just like if you got anything too fast, you kind of go through this whole point where like you're going to blow some of it at one point and you don't like really appreciate it as much. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like earning, your role, or your responsibility.
Earning your role and earning your responsibility.
So that's a big thing, man. Like now that I look forward to everything, it's like, I'm happy at the place that I'm at because I know what works and what doesn't. And anybody who wants to come into my circle, man, earn your role. And I'm totally happy with it. You know what I'm saying? Like earn your role, not because I'm trying to make it hard for you. It's because I want you to really take like full responsibility and to really, really appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? And to even work harder. You know what I'm saying? Like, it will make it so much sweeter for you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to make it hard to haze you, you know what I'm saying? Or to like, to just like be complicated. No, there's a method to the madness. You know what I'm saying? And I used to just like, you're young, you ain't got no money. You're like, yo, yeah, anything you need, I'll help you with this. And anything you need, I'll help you with that. You know what I'm saying? In order to get their buy-in. But it's important for people to earn their roles. You know what I'm saying? It's important for people, especially once you have the winning formula.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? At the beginning, I get it. I mean, your hands are open. I'll do anything for anybody. And that's how it should be. Until you figure out that winning formula, then you start building the right systems and processes to scale. But everybody wants to build the right system and processes at the beginning, and that's the timing is off. Like at the beginning, you do the unscalable stuff. At the beginning, you do the stuff that doesn't make sense. But then as you grow, you grow just like any other business grows. You know what I'm saying? That's just where I am in my life right now. And I've learned that because I've failed, or I've lost a lot of money, or I've went through a lot of stress and headache, with that whole scenario. But I get it now, man. And I'm confident in it. People, respect me. I respect them. It's just, hey, we got to do this a certain way. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, man. Wow, man. So we're about to jump into the rapid fire round and 5 rapid fire questions, 5 rapid fire answers. Man, you ready? Yeah. What's the best piece of advice that you have never received?
Damn, where do you get these questions from?
Hey, we didn't evolve. When I first started, I had the regular boys. Now I got the things on hot and ready.
Damn, bro.
And this is basically this side note. This is basically where you just share a quote from yourself.
Can I pass on it and come back?
Yeah. If you could add one habit and take away one habit, what would they be?
I would add the habits of being healthier. At that, I would take away the habit of drinking too much energy drinks.
For the energy drinks to mess up your soul, but you be so like quirky, like just little ticks. I mean, I like the little tick. I like nervous ticks because they make me sound like little genius. Like I watch like A Beautiful Mind. And they got like little ticks, and it makes it like, yo, there's something, that guy's different. So I get it, but them things are dangerous.
And the crazy part is when I worked for Pepsi, they were giving this for free. I never drank an energy drink a day in my life. And then I worked for Pepsi and they were giving it to me for free. And that's how like that first year out of college, I was just on like 20 hours a day. I was just buzzing, and it was crazy because the hype of the business plus the energy drinks plus I'm out on my own. Like it was just the recipe for like extreme growth. But I was like, I told myself, let me do this when I'm young, and hopefully my body can stand it versus later down the road. So
yeah, kind of like when Goku, when he did like, he used to do super KO can attack times like 20, knowing that it's not sustainable, but he in his head is like, if I survive, I can win. Like, it ain't sustainable. If I can survive this, then I'm good.
Yeah, man, I just gotta get through my 20s and go pound for pound, and I'm good.
Yeah, I know some like psychologists or anything like that. Because side note, for all and you probably had all these people in your life too, and I love them because you need them. But all these self-care people always text me, "Are you taking care of yourself, Greg?" Like,
oh my god. No, man. I mean, I appreciate them, man, because it shows that they care, man. I do get a lot of texts and messages like that, man. I really appreciate it, from where they're coming from. But yeah, man. I mean.
Like, I get it all the time. Like, well, Craig, I'm like, and I love it. But like, guys, like, the thing is, and we live it.
There's a method to the madness, man.
Yeah, like,
There's this crazy, super successful. He was on Shark Tank once. Chris Sacca. He was at a TechCrunch the other like last week, or whatever. He said, if you want to be an entrepreneur, there's a craziness to you. Like there is a borderline, like they call it, like stupid level genius. Like, just like there's something in you that is just like wrong. Like, you're not a normal person. You're not a well balanced, average normal person. If you were, you would just, again, be like well balanced normal people. You know what I'm saying? There's a craziness to you, and it's like, if you don't, he was naming stuff, and he was like, if you don't see yourself like this, 9 times out of 10, you're not the founder. You're probably a great employee, first employee, second employee, doesn't really matter. But that founder is there for a reason. It's because he's borderline crazy.
man, son, why does everybody want to be LeBron? Steve Kerr still got rings. Steve Kerr is the coach of the Golden State Warriors. Like, the society, cause that's why we have so many podcasts, so many businesses that fail, so many podcasts that fail, because a lot of people just host, they need to really be production. They need to produce. They need to work with other networks. They need to join, say, hey, I love what you're doing. Let me help you build and grow this. Let me give this. But instead, they want to be in front of the mic. Like, I don't get it.
Because fame, I got this from Gary. He said it straight up. Fame is the biggest arbitrage. I don't even know what arbitrage means, but I think what
it sounds deep.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's what everybody, in a sense, wants. Like, they would love to have. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the ultimate fantasy. To be, I mean, it's, if you break it down, it's basically just being liked. You walk into a room, people know you. It feels good. It's social media in real life, right? Like, if you were to walk down the street and people said, hey, what's up? Or I like how you wear. I like your dress. Oh, yo, you're the bomb. Like, those things feel good, just like likes and comments, you know what I'm saying, feel good in social media. And, you know, what I forgot his name. There was a guy, he was like, that little mental hormone or whatever that goes off in your brain, it's addicting, right? It's almost like doing like drugs or drinking alcohol. Like, it's addicting. Like, that being liked is a form of just innate humanity. And so fame is, like you said, is one of the biggest arbitrage, because everybody wants it. And it's almost like, if you still want it that bad, then you still haven't gone through truly understanding yourself and understanding your role. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you could be, you know, the coach, you can be this, you can be a part of a team, but you know, you might not be LeBron, you know what I'm saying? And that's okay, you know what I'm saying? But you have to be okay with that, because you weren't born with that specific talent or skill or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? And of course you can develop it, you know what I'm saying? But man, it's just everybody wants it, bro. And so I get it, you know what I'm saying? I don't get mad at people. I just, over time, you know, once we get into our 30s and stuff like that, people will really start playing their role. Everybody's saying, play your lane.
That's huge. I never thought about that.
That means, right? Like, you play your lane, you know, they'll write that quote all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Just play in your lane. You know what I'm saying? But they don't really know what that means. Just like people say, you know, do what you love. People don't know what that means. Me and you were doing what we love 24/7, but then they go and say, well, are you taking care of yourself? Are you balanced? You don't know what that means, right? And so, but I get it though. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, you just be around like-minded people who continue pushing you to where you want.
You said something crazy. I never thought about it like that. Like, in the 30s, I think lanes are separate themselves. I think kind of good to go play off something you said earlier about when you first enter the league. When you first enter the league, first year, there's some people that jump out the box and you're like, hold up, whoa, I didn't realize they were that nice. And then second year, people jump out, but then by the third or fourth year, it's like, the people that jumped out, those people that's rising, the other people, they finally, they realize, oh, I'm 3-D. Oh, because everybody they just drafted think they're going to be Isaiah Thomas.
They think they're going to be rookie of the year, bro.
Yeah, everybody.
They want to be MVP, bro.
And they should.
And they should.
But yeah. I get it.
So I get their perspective, right? I get, understanding psychology is one of the biggest things when it comes to marketers and entrepreneurs. And because I get that, I'm not mad at folks. I let people do what they do. I let people go down their journey and go through their experience and all that good stuff. Look, I already went through that, so I don't want to go through it with you and go through all your headaches and stuff, but I get why you're going through it, and I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've already been through my trials and tribulations. I understand, what I understand. You still have to go through it. That's great. You do your thing over there. Once you're ready and once you realize, your role, feel free to come over here anytime.
Love it, man. What is your favorite book and why?
One of the books that, honestly, one of the books that really, man, there's so many. I mean, I'll say, I love the 4 Hour Work Week, man. That's one of the books that when I first started reading it, it was like 3-4 years ago. It really I think that's the book that one of the books that opened my mind the most. Right, a lot of books open your mind, but if I say like this one, one was like 8x, one was a 9x, and one was a 10x. 4 Hour Work Week definitely was a 10x. A close second is like the compound effect. You know what I'm saying? That's the thinking long term. That's the understanding that the little stuff you do today play off in the long run, just like a snowball effect. You know what I'm saying? There's the first flake, then another flake, then another flake, then another flake. And then after a while it starts rolling and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger very massively. That's why rich people get richer and, in a sense, not always, but poor people get poorer. Because once you figure out what works, you just keep doing it and you do it over and over again. But you got to break that cycle. You got to break that mindset that has kept you, going the opposite way. So, I mean, those are two big ones. 4 Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss and The Compound Effect by I don't know who, just Amazon it.
Love that. And what is your biggest fear?
Oh man, we just had this conversation too, which is crazy. Yeah. Just crazy, man. Like honestly, man, God. I mean, I'll put it in short. There's not many things that I fear. Very little. I've been in the military. I've faced death. I've had a gun pointed to my face. Like I've been through a lot, and so there's not. I'm not even scared of dying, right? So it's like, if you're not scared of dying, what the heck? You know what I'm saying? But I will say, this is where we got a little deep in our conversation, and we were talking about like. This is where you get deep, man. This is where like you don't look at the past 10 years, you look at the past like 20 years. You know what I'm saying? And everybody has a at the bottom of their heart, there is something that they yearn for or miss or et cetera, et cetera. A lot of times it's based on how you grew up, based off of, certain things and that affected you in your early childhoods. Again, people don't even understand that, but the things that you see and experience when you're 5, 6, 10, 12, like those things come back around, you know what I'm saying? And that's why, again, it's part of that compound effect. And that's why people are so protective of what, goes around children and stuff like that. But, one of the things that, I don't know if I fear, but that I would love to have. Like I didn't really have a father that was like really, really like emotionally, there for me. And so, as a child, not having that, what I'm saying, that's ultimately what I want, right? To have a son or a daughter, whatever, and to give, my all into it, because I never got that, when I was younger. So it's not necessarily a fear. It's if I never get that opportunity, I think, that's something that is sad to me, because again, that's, you grow up 18 years of your life, and it's not even the fact that there's two scenarios. There's one where it's like, see, I'd rather this scenario where it's almost like I knew that my father wasn't in my life, and so that expectation is set at the beginning, right? I know that I don't have a father. But then there's the other scenario where like you have somebody that's there, but you can never really connect with, right? So it's like it's the same as like I'd rather be blown out in a basketball game, early, and my expectations are, like we good. You know what I'm saying? Like I have set my expectations that we're gonna lose this game. You know what I'm saying? We're down by 50 in the first quarter. I get it. I'm already planning my next thing. You know what I'm saying? But to then go play all 4 quarters and, be down, be up by 1 and somebody hits the buzzer beater, you know what I'm saying? Like you had that chance the entire time and you still don't have it, that championship, whatever, right? That's a terrible feeling, bro. I'd rather just be blown out so I can set my expectations rather than going all 4 quarters and knowing it was right there, but I could never get it.
God, I should put a paywall in front of this podcast, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's crazy. Last two questions of the whole thing, man. If you were the president of the United States, what's the first thing you would do?
No. I would, if I was the president of the United States, what would I do? God, man, we gotta talk later. And like, I need you to help me get some questions for me down the road, man. These are some great questions that I just don't have answers to. If I was the president, what would I do? Man, I don't know, man. There's so many issues, bro. There's so many freaking issues, and I don't even know if I would want to be the president. Yeah. I would, what would I do? I would start a weekly podcast and talk to the people. And I would, I would really start connecting. You know what I would do? I got it. I would do what me and you still do. Now, what we did back in the day, like I would really, really try to still connect with people, right? You can be all the way at the top, all you want, but I would do stuff that is not what most people expect. You know what I'm saying? Not what most people perceive. Like I would really, really try not to get lost in the sauce of my role and who I am. And I would really, really still have the mindset of changing one life at a time. You know what I'm saying? And do stuff where I can touch people. You know what I'm saying? Not like figuratively, figuratively touch people, but like really connect with people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's crazy. I think I think Obama was one of the closest. And of course I'm young, so people are like, well, somebody else did it. Well, I know Obama. And I think he was one of the closest people to really to build with the people. And I think there's I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that. Oh, so let's double back. Let's close it out. So you got to be deep. A lot of pressure on this one. A lot of pressure. Actually, no. There's always one last culture question, but let's go back real quick to the best piece of advice that you never received.
Nobody ever told me this, but I think this is a big deal. I think, and I kind of mentioned it. Nobody ever told me this. Everybody always talks about like, this is one of those things where I had to learn myself. And so, I think I'm gonna write a book about this down the road too, but, one of the best pieces of advice that, it has to do with one word, and that word is like clarity, right? I think that, clarity is, we talked about self-awareness, which is really big, but it's like, how do you find self-awareness, right? So it's like, you gotta like backtrack. Self-awareness is about having clarity, right? Having clarity of who you really are, having clarity of your true authentic self. Because that clarity, once you really understand that, and you know that, it breeds, confidence, right? Once you are truly understanding that you are the uniquest person in the world, right? Imagine there are 7 billion people on this earth. Every single person has a different story, right? Because every single person has been through variations of all different types of stuff. So I don't think there's 7 billion variations of anything. You know what I'm saying? So to truly find, like, think about that. Like, 7 billion variations, but there's 7 billion variations of people. You know what I'm saying? Because there are so many things and so many layers of stuff that people have gone through that is different from every single other person. That's what makes you unique. That's what makes your story unique. That's the stuff that you gotta bring out when you're branding, yourself. And how do you compete with somebody else? Well, you're different than somebody else. You just gotta dig deep enough to find that clarity. Once you find that clarity, you can confidently move forward. You know what I'm saying? And be unapologetically authentic in who you are and what you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up, bro, like I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's all these different things that I'm not this, the stereotypical, or I'm not the status quo, I'm not this, I'm not that. Like, I have an underdog mentality my entire life. You know what I'm saying? Nothing was really given to me. So it's like, how do I earn respect? How do I gain confidence? How do I do this, do that? Like, and for me, it was just about, that, having clarity, and having clarity, means, you know what I'm saying? Spending time, and researching and finding out, and not just waiting for things to come to me. I mean, it's just stuff that, that stuff that we talked about. All this stuff goes around and round and round. It's the same stuff over and over again. You know what I'm saying? But I just, I push, it all comes down to how you spend your time. We all have 24 hours a day. We all know this. You know what I'm saying? But, again, when you're playing the game of inches and seconds, it's the stuff that I find on the internet that you didn't. It's the person that I found. You know what I'm saying? It's the strategy that I found that you couldn't. Because I just spent the extra time. We went through the top level stuff. We all get the generic stuff. We all get how to market and brand and grow a business. I mean, all that information is out there. But I found stuff that you didn't find. And that's why I'm winning.
Man. So as we conclude, I call myself the culture change agent. And every single person I have on this podcast is a culture change agent in their own right. And I always ask this question. And when you're looking at the culture, specifically the millennial culture, if you could change one thing about it, what would you change?
Yo, okay. I would change the fact that I wish specifically for millennials, right? We're in this, oh my gosh. The biggest, I love millennials. I love our culture, all that good stuff. But we're talking about like the negative, right? We're talking about what we could change.
Yeah.
This is why so many millennials are effed up in their heads, right? And of course, again, I say that very lightly because I look, man, I love us, right? There's great qualities and all that good stuff. You know what the biggest thing that f's us up is that we're the first generation to truly consume social media and the internet and all that good stuff. So the fact that we're first, we don't know how to act, right? So we're looking at things and we're going through our normal human, interactions and hormones and ideas and all that good stuff. It's like social media is modern day keeping up with the Jones, right? Now that you're aware of all these other things, you want all these other things, not realizing that that's actually not healthy for you. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Like you grow, you wake up, you go out, you feed the pigs, the horses, or you do whatever in your little community or whatever you're at. You know what I'm saying? You go to the end of the block and, you meet your friends. Like that's all you know, and you're good. You know what I'm saying? Like you just do what you do that's in front of you. You know what I'm saying? But now it's like we know so much we're drowning, right? Because there's all these expectations. There's all this, well, I want to be like that, and I want to be like that, and I want to have that, and I want to do this and that. And so we're the first generation who's really, really like taking on like, the way MySpace came, Facebook came, like we're the generation that took it at its like core, and also it was at our like biggest discovery points in our life when you're freshman in college. You know what I'm saying? So like you're still being molded, but you haven't really like found yourself yet. But now you have all these extra variables added into it, right? And so we're going through this, and we're going through this, in our early, in our late teens, and whatever, of just consuming all this stuff, and we don't realize that it's potentially hazardous, or we're putting thoughts in our minds that make us more stressful, and life is already hard, but we're making it even harder on ourselves, and this and this and this and that, right? So like the older generation, they could, they might not care as much. You know what I'm saying? They don't have as many followers. It's like, I know life is, what it is in real life. The younger generation look at us and be like, they'll know, like, don't get caught up, you know what I'm saying, in social media, because that's what we're preaching now. You know what I'm saying? And so they'll know it, and so they'll move accordingly. Mm-hmm. But we're the first generation where like we're the dummies for all this. You know what I'm saying? So like people just don't know how to act. You know what I'm saying? And we're just kind of we're the dummies. We're the dummies for this project called freaking augmented reality, social media, and all this. We're the dummies for it. We're the generation that we're starting to have disposable income. We're always consuming. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Again, when you look at 30s and 40s, they're in their ways. They're already good. You know what I'm saying? Their ways have already been set, and so they don't get caught up in it. We're the generation still figuring out, but we have a ton of more, layers added on to us that previously wasn't in the next generation, or we're not young enough, so we can't really make those decisions. So instead of just watching the other generation mess up and figuring out how to move accordingly, we're right in the middle. So we get caught up in it. Does that kind of make sense?
No, that makes a lot of sense. And I think to put a pin on this podcast, I think that for anybody that's been listening and really tuning in and vibing through this whole listen, I think that's how you can take the next level, because if you find out your space and are agnostic to a lot of the smoke signals, the fraudulent, whatever, and you're true to yourself and whatever you're doing. It's not even for entrepreneurs. Whatever you're doing, if you're true to yourself and don't need anybody's acknowledgement, I mean, you can win more than anybody. That's why
you know what winning is? Winning is not about fame or money or this and that. Winning is about being genuinely happy. And people think that fame and money and running a company or, affecting lots of people's lives is happiness. No, like everybody's definition of happiness is different. You know what I'm saying? And so, it's really just about getting to the point where when you have gratitude and you appreciate things, whether it's big or small, you've won. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that you always keep wanting more and more and more and more and not, putting the actions in order to get it, you're mentally effing yourself up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you're being, and you're being envious, or, you're just like stressing yourself out because you feel like you have to live to a certain expectations or doing certain things that were set upon you by other people. But winning is about just being genuinely happy, with who you are, where you at. When I had nothing, I was still gracious to still be breathing. You know what I'm saying? When I had nothing, I was still gracious that I could convince the calf ladies to eat their food and, clean up after. Like, I could have been mad at the world, but I still had gratitude. And that gratitude, again, it starts in your mind, and you can walk around being in your happy bubble all day, no matter where you are and what you do. Be in your happy bubble. That's what people need to do. They need to create their own happy bubble, because the world is effed up. Bad things are going to happen every single day. You know what I'm saying? But if you can create your own like happy little bubble by appreciating the one person you say hello to, the food on your plate, the air that you breathe, the fact that you didn't sleep, outside, like whatever it could be, that's winning.
Man, already, dog. Already. We had nothing else to say, man. All I gotta say is a couple things. First, where can we find more information about you, BYOB, and keep hip to all the new announcement, a new way over the next couple months?
Absolutely. So, man, definitely, you can follow me on my personal channel. Excuse me. I'm mostly on Instagram.com/brandwithdrew, BRANDWITH, brandwithdrew. Definitely check out BYOBsociety.com, right? So that doesn't stand for bring your own bottle. That stands for build your own brand. and that's not just for entrepreneurs. I mean, I focus on, because I know that everybody shouldn't be an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? And we'll help you get there if you want to, but building your own brand, even in corporate America, building your own brand as a 20 something, like, because we have the opportunities to create our own narrative. That's, and unless you just don't want to be on social media, you don't want to be online, like, you're going to have a narrative. So if you want to control that narrative, that's what we're here to help you. And that narrative will open more opportunities. That narrative will help you, attract the ideal people you want in your life. BYOBsociety.com. Follow us on all the platforms. Check out the website. We have new content dropping every day. We have amazing videos from amazing, awesome, influencers and just extremely credible 6- and 7-figure business owners. I mean, and it's all free. You know what I'm saying? We have a private Facebook group. We have all this stuff, man. We're just doing it to grow the brand, to be in people's households, to give. And we hope that people appreciate it. We hope that however far I can go, or whatever it is, like, that still lives on, and that's the long-term game we're playing.
Love it, man. Love it, man. So, Minority Trailblazer Nation, man, show us feedback, add us on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, all those platforms as we post it, man. And hopefully I really understood it, man. This is huge. And I think hopefully y'all got this, to see the sides of, we were talking about what's winning, also talking about what didn't work and could build, because this is going to be ongoing every couple months. Bring him in, give us updates. And I know he has some huge announcements, and hopefully we could be the first podcast he drops the big announcements he got coming on, man. So I need the exclusives. As we morph and grow, I'm dropping an exclusive next week. That's going to be a heat rock for this app, this launch that's going to change the whole game. So I want this to be the place where cats break news. I'm still mad at Zim and Morg. I don't know Morg like that, but Zim, I know you. You should have dropped the news on the Minority Trouble podcast that you're getting acquired by Blavity. I feel some type of way. So if you and Blavity team, just know that Minority Trouble and media, we're not happy right now. Y'all ain't dropping on here. But, y'all already know what to do. Make sure you subscribe. Meet me at Harvard, September 30th. I'm actually going to do a pop-up in New York, September 27th. And, Oakland, November 4th. Dallas, November 11th, Seattle, December 2nd. It's going to be all online, man. I love y'all. Y'all keep doing what you need to do. And, let's take it to the next level. All right. What I need to do, one thing. Subscribe, tell a friend. And 2, change the freaking culture. Peace.